This program is sponsored by TechTime Radio. Visit them online at techtimeradio.com.
Hello, listeners. We're excited here at TechTime Radio, aren't we, Mike?
Oh, no.
We have an announcement to make starting in June. We're really excited to be a part of an internet radio station. That's right. Coming up in June, you will still be able to listen to us live here at Kixie 880 and KKNW and all of our affiliate stations. But you'll be able to listen to us at 8 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday now. We look forward to this new opportunity to provide you TechTime Radio every weekday. And again, you can always catch us online at techtimeradio.com.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. Each week, our show covers the weekly top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And of course, a little whiskey on the side. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch TV, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com or become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host, a technologist with 30 years of technology expertise, working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. My co-host here, Mike Gorday, is an award-winning author, originally from Arizona. Mike's a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike is here to keep me from geeking out while providing insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We are two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right. Today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, TikTok ban or no ban? You ever watch Deal or No Deal? This is the ban or no ban. We're going to be talking about TikTok.
Howie Mandel going to be a part of this?
Well, you know what? It's kind of just about as much as choosing a case up on the stage as it is on what's going to happen to TikTok. We're going to be spending a lot of time to talk about it. We have 4 scenarios that I believe might play out in the TikTok situation. We're going to go through each of those. ChatGPT might be in some legal troubles. I think you're pretty excited about that, huh? You're just the ChatGPT lover, right?
Yeah.
You're indifferent. You're indifferent.
That's right.
All right. And guest Gwenway has a new item on gadgets and gear. We also have our letter segment back with a few new spam email threats you're going to want to listen to learn about as they may be hitting your inbox also. In addition, of course, we have our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment this week in technology and a possible Nathan nugget. As always, we have our pick of the day whiskey tasting during the commercial to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, story number 1. TikTok is in limbo for next steps in the U.S. No one knows what's going to necessarily happen with TikTok. Let's go to our TikTok moderator, though, to give us an update on what the current situation is.
I think it is now very likely that TikTok is going to be banned. We've seen a number of countries take steps in that direction. So the US, for example, have banned TikTok on all government devices. The UK recently followed suit. Recent polls show that the majority of the American public are on board with TikTok being banned. It's around 2-1 in terms of favor for the ban versus against. I think it's very likely that the US at some point will go and outright ban TikTok, as some other countries have already done, by the way. India, for example, has fully outright banned TikTok.
Wow.
So India has banned TikTok. Now, India has banned TikTok, not necessarily for security reasons, but that they have another
they want
app.
their own.
Yeah, they want their own app to essentially be a part of that. going on. So the Biden administration has threatened to ban the popular video app in the United States because of security concerns with its Chinese ownership. But there's no deadline for what the White House is going to do to make a decision, and Congress might want to say that they have a say in the matter itself. Now, uncertainly, this has left the app's millions of users and critics open with the questions, what's going to happen to TikTok? This is actually hurting their advertising, right? Because you don't want to advertise on a platform that's going to disappear, kind of like Twitter or any of those applications.
Maybe you
right?
should just talk to Elon. Maybe he'll buy TikTok.
Well, here's some scenarios. Scenario number one, Congress dooms TikTok. Now, you got to remember President Donald Trump, back ex-president, so ex parte president or whatever president you want to call him, but President Donald Trump tried to ban TikTok in 2020 and failed in large part because of the court's rules. He didn't have the legal authority, and now Congress is thinking of giving that power back to President Joe Biden. So Congress could come on up and say that they want to doom TikTok within itself. Now, do you think Congress would be able to come up with a large ruling that says that they have the authority to do that, or to make other courts have authority to do that?
Well, Congress is responsible for legislation, so they're responsible for making the rules.
Correct.
It's up to the Supreme Court whether or not those rules
get into place,
get to be done. Right.
Okay. Yep.
That's why the Supreme Court exists, and then you have the president who can say yes or no. And
so Congress may say, Joe Biden, here you go. It's your chance. Scenario number one. It's your chance. You go on out there and you make the decision itself. I don't think that will happen. They didn't do that to Trump, so I don't think they're going to redo that and allow Biden to make that decision on that. I'd be, in my personal opinion, a little scared if we're just going to have a president make a decision on what app can be done and what app couldn't be done.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it falls under the rights to ambassadorship.
Okay,
that's one of the things a president gets to do is to negotiate with other countries and have a foreign policy.
So this becomes a part of the foreign policy?
Maybe. Who knows?
Okay. Scenario number two, Congress doesn't act, but Biden decides to ban it anyways. Not every senator is rushing to endorse the TikTok ban. Last month, Senator Rand Paul blocked an attempt to fast-track the Restrictive Act, citing free expression. So this is a Republican senator that says we're not going to have this type of deal to allow us to fast track and restricting that. I kind of like that idea. I don't know if Congress should be making the decisions to have an app that's available out there and decide that they just want to let a president ban it and they'll have things taken care of. That kind of goes back to scenario number one.
I don't know how scenario two is going to work, because if Donald Trump tried to do it in 2020 and he was shut down, I don't think Biden can go ahead and be like, well, I'm not Donald, so I'm going to do it.
That's true.
And everybody's going to be like, yay, Biden.
So I don't think that happens. Scenario number three, this is what's going to happen. ByteDance sells it. A spinoff of TikTok's U.S. business from its Chinese parent company is called ByteDance. That's the company in the UK and the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they may be in the best alternative right now and the easiest path to avoid a messy political and legal fight over the ban. They could decide to sell it to a United States-based company.
So they get to lose money.
Well, or they can make a lot of money on it. I think it'd be a high bid.
There again, there's just call Elon. Maybe he wants to.
Do you know who wants to buy this? Here, you know who wants to buy the same company that bought ChatGPT?
Microsoft?
They do not have a social media platform. They have LinkedIn, which is like a business social media app, but they do not have a social. They have never had a social media app. They've always
wanted.
They
make overtures to buy TikTok.
They have twice before. Twice before. So this is my underlying. They just bought an AI company. Why not buy the hottest rising social media market out there? Pay whatever it is and drop into that space, and then be loved by everybody, because good old Microsoft's now just the good old company that everybody in the United States
maybe
loves.
That's the way the Chinese government can get into Microsoft.
That's okay. Or scenario number four, Congress passes a privacy law. This is what a lot of people are hoping for.
Well, yeah,
for all apps.
That takes care of everybody.
So the privacy advocates are always quick to note the U.S. doesn't have a national law for privacy on the internet as some other countries do. One scenario is that Congress passes one in the near future, allowing them to take the heat off TikTok, but then essentially put the heat on every single app regarding privacy concerns.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
You think that'd be a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Why
Don't
is that?
you hate it? Don't you hate when if you look something up on Google, like if
Okay.
you look up, I don't know, soap,
Yeah.
and you open up Facebook and suddenly there's ads for that same soap. Don't you hate that?
I do. So we got off on this last night at our production meeting. Gwen will be on here, so I got to ask her a little bit about TikTok. Well, here's my problem though. Why? Okay, these are businesses that have created these social media apps. If I don't want to play in their space, I don't have to accept the terms of their contract to use their service for free. They provide those services for free. Is it really Google's fault? Is Google really bad? Is Facebook really bad? Is TikTok really bad? When I've opted in all of those applications to use their tracking, knowing that they're doing that for me.
I don't know. That's the big debate, right? One of the issues that makes it a difficult issue is that places like Google, it's become so much of an important part of our daily lives that we have no choice. If we don't use Google, we are way far behind the curve. So if I have to use Google, is it fair that Google gets to use my information?
Or do you have to use Google, or can you use Bing?
Same thing.
Well, one's
Same
Microsoft.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
same
it
thing.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't
right?
matter. Okay, or you could use Brave, or you could use
It's just
they all track. They all track.
This is going to be a problem that we're going to be discussing forever.
This is what we need to do
because the existence of these social media platforms, which has become
a part of our everyday
vital
life.
part of our social schema, which is ridiculous sometimes.
It is.
That's how the company makes its money. So they make its money by selling your information.
So Elon Musk wants to charge $7 a month to use Twitter. People aren't doing that at all. So clearly, we don't want to pay to have our stuff.
No, we got something for free. We don't.
It's almost a right.
First off, there's no such thing as getting something for free. There's always a cost.
Correct.
The cost here is that probably most people don't really think about the cost. They don't think that their information is really all that important.
Okay.
And it maybe not. I mean,
All
who
right.
cares? Who cares that I'm Googling soap?
That's
right.
Yeah.
So
all right. So you know what we need to do? We need to get a roundtable soon. We need to have experts to discuss this topics. Mike, you're going to have to be the moderator. You ready to be the moderator?
I don't mind.
You're going to get Nick and I and maybe Phil and a couple other people on. We're doing this.
We're just all going to talk about how much we hate all these things.
Well, no, we're going to be talking. This is the subject we need to talk about. Is TikTok being singled out differently than the other social media companies?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's what I want to talk about.
That's what you have a problem with?
That's
right?
what I do.
You have a problem with that, but
yes,
there's different ramifications for it. I get that, but
and the China excuse. So essentially, the American government wants its information from Google and Facebook, but it doesn't want to share it with China.
Yeah, that's kind of a normal. That's kind of a normal social exclusion thing.
So let's track our
keep everything in the family,
country.
Man.
Okay, all right, okay,
right?
Well, yeah, you know what? We could talk another 20 minutes about
family.
that. All right, Mike, you got story number 2.
Well, you always like to give me these because I have such a problem with this stuff, but OpenAI, which is the owner of ChatGPT, is possibly looking at its first defamation case against it. Because of something ChatGPT said about somebody else.
What happened?
So this comes out of Australia.
Okay, from the world down under.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna do some. You're gonna try and do some.
No, I won't sing.
Okay.
I will not sing.
Right, come on, do it.
No. I have
do one of your voice impressions that sound exactly the same as everything else. Okay. So an Australian mayor said that he may be taking legal action over false information that was shared by the advanced chatbot ChatGPT.
Okay.
Brian Hood, the mayor of Hepburnshire Council, says the OpenAI-owned tool falsely claimed he was imprisoned for bribery while working for a subsidiary of Australia's National Bank. In fact, Mr. Hood was a whistleblower and was never charged with that crime.
Oh,
There
okay.
were others that were charged and arrested, but he was not one of them.
So he was the guy that actually turned them all in.
Yes, he was the one that turned them all in.
Okay.
And so here's and again, this is one of the problems I've talked about with these types of programs, right? So his lawyers have sent a concerns notice to OpenAI, which is the first formal step for applying for a defamation case in Australia. OpenAI has 28 days to respond to those concerns, after which time Mr. Hood can possibly take the company to court under Australian law.
Okay.
The pushback here is that when people use ChatGPT, they are shown a disclaimer warning that the content it generates may contain inaccurate information about people, places, or facts, and that sometimes the OpenAI tool writes plausible sounding but incorrect or nonsensical
information
and answers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
In 2005, Mr. Hood was a company secretary of Notes Printing Australia, which is a subsidiary of the Reserve Bank of Australia. And he was horrified to see what ChatGPT was telling people, that he was, in fact, arrested for bribery and other.
Oh, he was arrested
other
too.
Sundry.
Oh, okay. So it didn't even say he was a part of it. He said that he was arrested also?
ChatGPT said that he was arrested as part of this whole thing. So.
Okay.
And, it's one thing to get something a little bit wrong. It's entirely something else to be accusing someone of being a criminal and having served jail time when the truth is the exact opposite. This is where this becomes a problem, because one of our big social things is that if we see it,
we believe it.
Yep. So this guy's reputation is being attacked by this nonsensical
device
chatbot.
Yeah.
So
I keep on putting in ChatGPT, who is Nathan Mumm, and I'm waiting for him to say like president, king of the world, and none of those are coming on up, because if I read it, then it'd be true, but I haven't been able to get that to come up.
That's your whole argument, huh? That's what your takeaway from this is. Okay.
That's what my takeaway is.
All right, why don't you get on to the next?
Okay, all right. Story number 3. We don't. That's actually really good though. ChatGPT is going to make mistakes. We need to talk about that. All this AI is going to have
when this came plowing out in November.
Yep.
Everybody was like, all these things were
stopping work just to spend hours doing these things. I mean, this was it.
Yeah, people were just going nuts, and we talked about the books and all this other stuff and all the problems. And this is just one more added little issue with not only the ChatGPT function itself, but how it interacts with living human people.
Yep.
And this guy could, end up getting
a lot of money.
Well, he could end up getting a lot of money, but he's also potentially suffering a lot of problems because of something that this.
I said, I guess if you're going in for like a home loan, or you're trying to do something and all of a sudden it says you're a criminal and you've served, I guess that would be really. I don't think a bank loan or something.
No, but what if you're applying for a job?
Okay.
And your potential employer that you have a really good chance of getting in with uses ChatGPT to check you out, because they do that. They check you out on your social medias and stuff.
Yeah.
And this brings up stuff like, you were a pirate in some 1880s version of, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Right?
Only for me and you.
I know.
Me and you would love
but
that.
the fact is that you might lose that opportunity based on false information.
Correct. I guess. All right. Story number 3. We normally don't talk about home movie releases, but this is something breathtaking.
Why?
Let's play the audio, Odie.
You say history considers me dead. Who am I to argue with history?
You're a Starfleet officer. You have a duty.
I don't need to be lectured by you. I was out saving the galaxy when your grandfather was in diapers.
Klingon vessel decloaking directly ahead, sir.
Target their bridge! Full disruptors!
Let's go!
Bridge, we have a new problem! All right, let's move them out. Let's go. Take them out.
10 seconds to warp core breach.
All hands, race for impact!
Let's try and cheat death together.
Warp 1, engage!
All right. Do you know?
No.
Do you know that
No.
as of last week, every Star Trek movie is now in 4K HDR for the first time ever? Now, they went back to the old films, but Trekkies and film lovers worldwide have a reason to be happy this month. On April 4th, Paramount released all 4 Star Trek The Next Generation films on 4K HDR. The movies released complete the beloved franchise's digital transformation of every movie in ultra high definition resolution. That's something exciting. All right, well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, Gwenway is up next on our Gadgets and Gear segment. What has she found that might make you go, You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We'll be back after the commercial break. Hello, listeners. We're excited here at TechTime Radio, aren't we, Mike?
Oh, no.
We have an announcement to make starting in June. We're really excited to be a part of an internet radio station. That's right. Coming up in June, you will still be able to listen to us live here at Kixie 880 and KKNW and all of our affiliate stations. But you'll be able to listen to us at 8 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday now. We look forward to this new opportunity to provide you Tech Time Radio every weekday. And again, you can always catch us online at techtimeradio.com. All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time's a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Renee. We just got our whiskey bottle back for our first whiskey tasting during the break. And now let me tell you about what we're sipping in our pick of the day to the show. We have chosen the 1792 small batch bourbon, 93.7 proof, $31.95. According to Sazerac's website, 1792 is named for the year Kentucky became a state, as it acknowledges the importance of the bluegrass state as the birthplace of bourbon. The 1792 expression, of which there are many, includes the flagship small batch bourbon, which is created with the precision and artistry that we're tasting today. 1792 small batch is sophisticated and complex, made from the signature high rye recipe with barrels carefully chosen by the master distiller. 1792 small batch has an impressive and elegant taste, unmistakable spice, mingles with the sweet caramel and vanilla to create a bourbon that is incomparably brash and bold. Yes, smooth and balanced. What do you think?
I like it so far.
You like it so far?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's very tasty.
This is 93.7 proof. It's undisclosed mash bill. Again, this is a straight bourbon. So you're not normally a straight bourbon guy. That's normally kind of your kryptonite. But I'm enjoying.
No,
what you're
rye.
saying. Rye. Well, no, you have now liked rye more than when I do the straight bourbons. I've gone back now and listened through. You don't like a bitter rye, but you're actually more of a rye fan than I thought you were.
I don't like.
You don't like a bitter.
I don't like a harsh rye.
You don't like. All right. Okay. Well, now that we have our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment. We have our gadgets and gear expert and show producer, Gwen Way, joining us. She's an expert in cybersecurity during the day and a game board geek in the evenings. Let's welcome Gwen to our video stream to start our next segment.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right, Gwen, welcome to the show today. How have you been since you last were on the show?
I have been well. I do have to say that may be the best introduction I've ever had, and I loved that.
Yeah, you see, I rewrote the intros a little shorter. I know we've been talking about this at the production since Gwen's a producer. I'm trying to get some brownie points here. A little shorter intro. We got a little bit different on some of our items, so we're trying to spruce it up a bit. Okay, so tell us. We just had that TikTok segment, right? And I had to choose 4. I had like 17 different scenarios, and I figured
only 17.
Yeah, I figured that probably wouldn't have made very good radio unless I was doing a 3-part segment like Phil. So we got it down to 4. But what is your feeling on the privacy concerns on TikTok before we get into this gadget and gear items?
I tend to lean in on the fact that privacy concerns with TikTok are the same as privacy concerns with any application. We give our data away so quickly to so many people. What's one more, ultimately? If you're going to ban one, ban them all.
Ban them all. Okay. So she's kind of. So I'm more of that. If we're gonna just do it, let's have them all be equal. So Gwen, are you more of like you should ban all of them? Is that what you kind of think that they should all have the privacy rules come on out?
I mean, I think the privacy rules will be helpful. I don't think that actually banning applications is going to do any good. As soon as you tell somebody they can't have something, that's exactly what they're going to want. So we're going
That's
to
human
have
nature,
to
isn't
deal
it?
with
That is human nature.
Yeah, you tell me I can't have
Sometimes,
TikTok, then I'll
sometimes you
have
just
a
have to go
VPN.
to bed.
That's right.
Exactly.
There you
Well,
go.
and the other problem is you tell people they can't have TikTok, like you said, Nathan, they get a VPN or something else pops up that has the exact same security concerns but hides it better.
Yep.
Yeah, the reality is if TikTok is banned, somebody's going to create exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and it has to be almost as easy,
And
it
it's
has
gonna
to be.
it's gonna be
It's
the
gonna be a
same.
carbon copy. It can't be Reels because you got Facebook trying to do Reels. Every Reel
Not
is
the
just
same.
essentially the TikTok redone.
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts is kind of making it a little bit. I watch some of them, but I don't watch any of the Instagram, Facebook crap. I just pretty much
We all
it's
know
TikTok
we all
and-
know you're a TikTok fan.
I am a
And
TikTok
we all
fan.
know that's why you're
I am. I enjoy
you're
it.
like
That's at least 30 minutes of wasted lifetime each day. That
30 minutes.
That's about how long I spent on there. So
I was going to say, if you can cut yourself off after 30 minutes, that's pretty impressive.
yeah, just in the morning. I just in the morning when I get up and after I'm shower before I go to work. A little TikTok time, a little bulletin board reading time, and it makes me ready to go. And I do each and every day. It's kind of like the news.
There you
All
go.
I get my news now from TikTok. I just believe everything they tell me. No, just joking.
That makes
That
sense.
is not the
That
quote.
totally makes sense.
All right, Gwen. Okay, tell us what is our gadget or gear item that we have on today's show.
Okay, I picked out a gadget specifically for you, Nathan.
Okay.
And I can tell our audience from last night's meeting, you were on board.
I was on board, and I may still be. You're gonna have to convince me. I got some questions. I spent
I still
3
find that
hours.
hard to believe
I spent
because you're
3
on board
hours.
with everything.
Well, I spent 3 hours doing some research here, so you're gonna have to help me understand a little bit more on either if I make the payment or not. So, okay, so tell us what is this great device that I'm on the fence with right now.
So the fabulous device is called the Lawnmeister all-in-one robot mower. It's coming out from Heisenberg Robotics, which is a group out of Katy, Texas.
Okay.
The one concern that I have based on this is their first release. So this is their first Kickstarter, their first product. I did a little research and I haven't been able to find too much else about the company, which makes me a little nervous, but not nervous enough to not bring this to the listeners' attention.
That makes sense. So buyer beware a little bit. Make sure that if you're backing this, you're not backing this with your
That should just
with
be a general thing anyway.
Yeah, it should be. So
not wrong.
use your discretionary cash that you can lose if something goes wrong on this. We don't ever want anybody to invest in something and get in trouble. But if you do invest in something and they don't come through, if you go back to your bank and you purchase it on a credit card, you will be refunded. I've done that now twice. So there you
That
go.
is
Okay.
why I highly recommend using a card with an account, a bank that will actually do that for you.
Yep, Chase
So
Bank
be-
does that really well. So okay,
Exactly.
continue on. Sorry. Okay.
So this is the Roomba version of a lawnmower. It's basically a set it and forget it lawnmower that can be programmed to mow at specific times. Like when the neighbor is filming their TikTok, so your lawnmower is part of it.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
It can mow up to an acre, and you can actually designate zones. So you can say, okay, I want this area mowed to this height, but this other area mowed a little higher so that, that the horses.
You
or
got like your
goats can
front
use or
yard and your
whatever.
backyard. That was very
Exactly.
interesting to me too, because I don't have to have it all at like 1 inch. I can choose. I think it's 3 inches all the way up to 1 inch, so you can use those.
Yeah, but
two.
we all know what you would do.
What was that?
It'd be like 1 foot 3 inch, 1 foot 2 inch, 1 foot 1 inch.
Oh, he would have a Morse
I
code.
know.
You would have like
Oh,
little
that's-
waves all over.
I
the
have never
place.
thought about that, but now that is so awesome because that's exactly what I would do.
That's exactly what
I
you
know.
would
It'd be
do.
like a little Mario.
And you
Kart
just
world.
sold the lawnmower for me. Thank you.
That's right. There you go. That's right.
But yeah, it's really cool. It's got a camera on it, so it's got obstacle avoidance. So you forget the dog's frisbee in the yard, not a problem. It'll actually go around it, or you leave the chairs out. It'll even go around pets. So if the dog's out there, you can miss them. The other really cool thing that it has is it actually has the ability to climb slopes. It's, I believe, a 56%
Yep.
grade,
Yep.
which is
58.
58.
or
58.
58. You're right. That's going to encompass the vast majority of yards, especially in the Pacific Northwest.
All right. Okay. So
But
how?
not yours.
Well, hang on.
No,
I got some
not
questions.
You,
So,
you,
okay.
you have a really steep.
I do in the backyard.
Yep.
I got it. It's too steep for that. I went out and measured it. So I have a 68% to 72% slope in the backyard. But okay, how many pledgers have been a part of this? How many backers? How many days to go? Where can I find this? Of course, it's a Kickstarter. You talked about it. What can I search on to find that? Give me the details.
All right. So you can go in and you can search for the Lawnmeister. That's LAWNMEISTER. It also comes up if you search Heisenberg. So whether you're a chemistry fan or a Breaking Bad fan, that's got you covered there as well. It's currently sitting at just under 1,400 backers. You're sitting at 1,361. And it has had almost $2 million pledged to it already.
And the goal of that was, what was the goal of it?
10,000.
10,000. So it's greenlit. So it's greenlit to be taken care of. So this mow an acre. Now it also has an anti-theft aspect of it. So it has a charging station that comes. Tell us a little bit about the charging station, the protection of that. How does that go?
It's actually kind of cool. So it's got a charging station. It plugs itself in at the end of a mow. And when it plugs itself in, there's actually a lockdown, at which point you can't actually take the robot out unless you've got the app. So if somebody is so dedicated that not only have they climbed into your backyard, not only have they picked up the robot, but they've picked up the robot and charger, it also has a GPS built in, so it can tell you where it's been taken.
So you can go and say, what type of criminal are you trying to steal my little robot out of the back? Okay, So here's my one question that I had a concern with. Because I was buying it this morning and I already had it ready to go. And then I stopped. I didn't back it because I have moles and voles in my yard. And the wheels on this device look a little thin compared to what I was thinking of as probably some type of tractor wheel that's available there. Yeah. Did you notice that at all too? And so all the demos are on these beautiful manuscaped flat yards.
Yards.
Manscaped?
Manuscaped. Did I say manscaped?
Manscaped.
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing? What do you want?
You don't even want to know what he's doing.
No. So my concern is,
I think you mean manicured.
Manicured.
Yes.
That's what I meant. That's what
not manuscaped.
Essentially, my concern is that there's these all cookie cutter yards. Everything looks really nice on the demos itself. Will it work on what is your think on it? Do you think it will work on a backyard that has some mole holes in it? Or do you think that the small wheels are going to get stuck in there and it'll just be like my Roomba? And I know my Roomba sometimes gets stuck underneath my couch.
Stuck in the corner.
In the little corner, and it's a little raised carpet. And then I got to go over there and kick it in the morning to have it continue cleaning up and doing what needs to be done. What's your feeling on this?
I think it would still be okay overall, just based on the way that the mower is built.
Okay.
It doesn't have a lot of things that are going to actually fall into holes. The one caveat to that being if you've got a large ditch or something that just ends up going over that 58% grade, you do have to worry about it tipping over on its side.
Okay. I'm still 50-50 on this. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know you're going to get it.
I don't know, Mike, because my yard is so... I mean, I have this big John Deere that I have to take.
I know
in the
you
back,
have that, yeah.
And I have to do it.
And
I've tried. Now, I'll just tell you, the Luna pet robot dog is phenomenal. So, I mean, I'm getting into the robotics.
What does that got to do?
And you love Roomba. You would never think that you'd be a robot man, and you love your Roomba, don't you?
Yes. I named it Jarvis, and
okay,
and he does all of this. He does all of this stuff,
and you're really happy with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have to vacuum
ever. It just does it, and it's like cleaning.
I do have. There are certain things that it has trouble getting. So
in the corners and certain areas. So I just worry that my lawnmower would be out there continuously cutting in this like little area in this little dirt pile,
just a
and
little
it will never
circle.
move. Yeah, then I have to run out there and kick it. Then I'm just gonna become a soccer kicker for all my robots.
I guess that's like worrying about that you have dog shaped grass places where the thing moved around your dog because your dog is too lazy.
To
Yeah.
move that
Yeah,
would
like-
actually be kind of funny too. You got up and down regions, and then you got your little dog.
Yeah,
You can make
see,
a whole
this is why I know you're going to get it
an
because you're
obstacle
thinking
course.
about all these things that you
I
can
got a
do with
miniature
your
golf
yard.
course in the back of my yard.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
Exactly.
Quinn. Anything else you want to tell us about this product? Have you backed it? Let me just ask you that. Have you backed it?
I actually have, as
Oh.
we've talked about briefly, my husband and I are buying a house,
Yeah.
and so we're going to have to actually mow a lawn.
Okay.
So we went ahead and backed this so that it could be our lawnmower in the backyard.
Oh man, I got to do it.
See,
then.
this wouldn't work in Arizona.
Why is that?
Oh,
It's got
no.
rocks everywhere.
There's rocks are everywhere. And we've got, depending
Different
on where
colored
you live, you got
rocks.
elephant grass.
Yeah.
Got these big tufts of huge grass.
So it probably wouldn't work. All right. Okay. Well, that ends. Gwen, thank you for being a part of our show. We look forward to being on next month. Again, Gwen is a regular contributor to our show on every second week of the month. So thank you, Gwen, so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, Gwen.
That was a great segment. We thank Gwen for being a part of the show, but that does end our gadgets and gear. Up next, we have our This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as I will be doing so also during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
This is Mark.
And Greg.
For Copiers Northwest.
With a terrific offer
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
As long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. We're going back to April 11th. Exactly today, 1985. John Scully takes down Steve Jobs. Apple lured Scully from Pepsi in order to apply his marketing skills to the personal computer market. Steve Jobs successfully sealed the deal after he made his legendary pitch to Scully. Do you want to sell sugared water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world? Scully's and Jobs' vision for the company greatly differed, though. Scully favored open architecture computers like the Apple II, targeting educational, small business, and home markets, meaning less vulnerable to IBM. Jobs wanted to have the company focus on the closed architecture Macintosh as a business alternative to the IBM PC. Almost exactly 2 years after joining Apple, John Scully asked Steve Jobs to step down as the head of the Macintosh division at an Apple computer board meeting. With the backing of the company's other executives, Jobs was stripped of nearly all responsibility at Apple. While Jobs retains the title of chairman, he would have no authority and eventually leaves Apple. In response after this, Jobs then developed a plan to get rid of Scully and take back Apple. However, Jobs was confronted after the plan was leaked, and he said that he would leave Apple soon. That was this week.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's the story. That's a really big story, right? You bring in this big marketing guy. You think he's going to help your marketing. He has a different vision than you. He then convinces the board that his vision is right. And then the founder, creator, and the Energizer Bunny, he's odd duck, but the Energizer Bunny for Apple's creativity was set to pasture.
Yeah.
But he does come back.
Well, that's
and then
that's because what it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work out, and he came back and did what he wanted to do, and now
we all have these devices in our
Apple
pockets.
Stores.
Yeah, and we have these devices in our pockets. So he came back and said, I got this thing that you're going to listen to music in. We all have those Sony Discmans that we're running around with that weighed like 7 pounds. And he's like, here you go. Here's something you're going to put in your pocket. It's going to have 1,000 songs on it, and you can listen to it at any time.
I still have an iPod.
I still do too. I bought like 3 or 4 of them. All right, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 2 years of video, podcast, blog information, and other insightful items, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows or join the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us live all the time. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have the Mark's Mumble Whiskey Review, our technology fail, along with letters. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Yeah, guess what day it is?
Well, today is April 11th. So I just read that on the This Week in Technology.
Way to go, dude.
Okay. Is that what you're talking about or something else?
No, every time we do this, Mark has the something day.
Yeah, I don't know where he finds his information.
I don't know.
And he's trying to get more obscure each and every time now.
Yeah. So today is Dog Therapy Appreciation Day.
What?
But interestingly enough,
yeah,
my iRobot, which is my Roomba,
yeah,
right? The company,
your Jarvis,
the company, they sent me an email today that said it was National Pet Day. So that's close.
Well, okay.
So April 11th every year is set to appreciate the dogs who comfort people by being therapy dogs. Therapy dogs can go through a rigorous testing program before they become certified. And with their certification, they become eligible to visit hospitals and nursing homes to give comfort to people.
Okay, that's nice.
So, yeah. I'm not sure what that has to do with,
dog therapy.
I'm very comfortable. I can be comforted by bourbon, so I guess that works.
Okay.
1792 small batch bourbon, formerly known as Ridgewood Reserve 1792 and 1792 Ridgemont Reserve, is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey produced since 2002 by the Barton 1792 Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. Owned by the Sazerac Company since 2009. 1792 bourbon was originally introduced into the market by Barton as Ridgewood Reserve 1792. The Brown-Forman Corporation sued Barton for trademark infringement, arguing that the similar name and bottle design of Ridgewood Reserve could potentially create consumer confusion with the Brown-Forman's older Woodford Reserve brand. Federal judge ruled in favor of Brown-Forman in 2004. Barton changed the name of the product to 1792 Ridgemont Reserve to comply with the ruling. After Sazerac bought the company, they later just dropped the Ridgemont Reserve from the name, making it just 1792 small batch bourbon.
So that's the moral of the story. When someone sues you and you lose, just wait a couple of years and then buy the company out and say, screw you, we're going to go back and put the name back there anyways.
How did you get that from here?
That's what you said, because they buy the company and then he drops the name of it. Right? Did you get that from it?
No, I didn't.
That's what I got from it.
I didn't get that.
Okay, well, that's what I got from it. The story, the moral of the story is.
Okay, well, Mark.
Yeah? What's the Mark think about this?
Mark would not give this a thumbs down.
Give it a thumbs up, though.
I don't know.
Okay, it's not a thumbs down.
Give it a thumbs down.
Okay.
As it is a decent bourbon for the price. He did suggest that I may find it too high rise and too spicy, but actually it's right on that line for me. It's not so spicy that I dislike it.
Okay.
It will never find a place on Mark's bar, as the 1792 full proof has a way more character and flavor punch, with the 1792 single barrel adding a more unique pour if you want to stay at a lower proof.
Yeah, okay, and a lower price. So the other bottle is like $99. And this is, again, $31.95.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Mark, thanks for that mumble. As we move on the show, we're really excited to share this week's informative emails that were received during the week. This includes scams, phishing emails, and all-out mistruths disguised as legitimate emails in our segment we call Letters.
Letters. We get letters. We get back and back of letters.
and the letters all have tongues.
All right. I'm going to start out here with my first letter, Microsoft account team, with an email address at no reply at access503642accesssecurity.com. Doesn't sound like Microsoft account team, even if you name your header Microsoft account team, probably not the correct one. Microsoft account unusual sign-on activity. It said importance is high, and it was flagged with the status flag, so they put everything in there. The Microsoft account unusually sign-in. We detected something unusual about a recent sign-in to your Microsoft account at Nathan Blank at hotmail.com. Essentially, my email address, it says this came from Russia, Moscow, IP address. The platform was Windows 10 and Firefox. As a user from Russia, Moscow, just logged onto your account. Now is the time to protect your device. If that wasn't you, please click here. So they have a link in here that says the Microsoft account team, and it scares you thinking that this was somebody from Russia and Moscow that was logging onto my PC. As soon as I click on link, guess what happens?
What?
It asks me to give my Office 365 login and password.
What's the address of the link that it takes you to?
The link that it takes me to is a the bandlist.com/track.053, a bunch of numbers, but they have it hidden well enough that if you click on it, it looks like the Microsoft Office 360 login. So if you're not paying attention, I would type in my username and password. I did it as a test just to see what happened. I said, oops, it looks like you typed in incorrect. Now they shouldn't do that because Microsoft doesn't come on up with this oops. So the whole thing on their faking of this, they should use exact same terminology as Microsoft, not try to help you out. Oops, it looks like you did it incorrectly. Do you want to try again with this pop-up window? And then you type in your next password and it says, oh, it looks like your account is locked. Please call us at this number. So not only did they have my information, but now they're going to have me call into a call center with a dialect that is very tough to understand overseas, in a call center with lots and lots of noise. Let me tell you, Microsoft does not have the problem.
Them?
I did not call them. I just knew that the number was there and it would be a call center. So if you get anybody calling you up from Microsoft and you hear noise in the background and you hear it like a call center with a lot of noise, Microsoft has a lot of money. They don't have to have their people working in call centers with noise. They will actually have them in a quiet, retained area to help you. And they reach out to you. And when they reach out to you, they give always a case ID of something that you would have initiated with Microsoft.
Okay. Well, I just want to point out here a couple of things for our listeners.
Okay.
First, don't click on the link.
Yeah.
Don't do what Nathan does.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Because Nathan is nuts and he likes doing this kind of stuff. And I know he has a separate setup that he can use.
And I can format my whole computer in a moment's notice without having to.
Don't do what Nathan does. Don't click on the links.
Correct.
Right. And it doesn't matter if you think it's legitimate or not. That's one of the ways these people try to get you is they offer you something that either scares you or otherwise relies on your inattention to get you to click on a link.
Yep. All right. You got your two up next. That was my one and I'm done. So you got two up.
Okay. Well, I think this one's pretty awesome because, it's from your son.
Yeah, isn't it? This is great. And this came out this morning, too. You see, this actually came out this morning.
Yeah, it came out today at 7:44 a.m. from your son.
Oh.
Except for the fact that the email address that is associated with your son is something different. hdungtnet@gmail.com.
Okay, and he doesn't have an email address like that.
Right.
Yep.
And it's basically to you, and it says immediate assistance. Hi, Nathan. Not hi, Dad.
Yeah, it says hi, Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Okay.
I need to update the information for my direct deposit of paychecks because I changed banks. Will the modification apply for the current pay cycle? Kingly advice, not kindly advise.
Yeah.
Kingly advice. Yep. Regards, your son.
It doesn't say my son.
Customer service specialist.
Oh, customer service specialist.
So he works for you.
Okay. So we'll figure this out how they did this. Okay. So he is listed on LinkedIn. Back in the day when he was looking for a job, he put my company down as a job. Mm-hmm. So what they did is they did research for my company.
Right. They scraped it off the internet.
They scraped it off the internet from LinkedIn. They found out that he is associated with my company on LinkedIn. So then they decided to redistribute that information and try to make him be an employee and send that email to me directly, since they had that email associated too.
Yeah,
Now, you know what? My son would never send me an email. He has never gotten a paycheck from the company, and he would not have sent a changing of banks of any of those things. So
I think it's important to just point out here that I don't think they realized that this was probably somebody related to you.
They did not.
But you always want to check the email that's being sent from.
Yep.
And then one of the key points that I look at is the grammar. So the body of the email is not that bad until you get to keenly advise.
Yeah.
Which should say kindly advise and should be capitalized properly, which is not. But I don't know if you're in the dating sites, which I know you're not.
No.
You get a lot of these things.
You get a lot
all
of
the
those
time.
things.
Oh, you can pick out the scammers almost immediately because of the way they write these things.
All right, dude, this one quick, because then we got to go to your mesmerizing moment.
Okay, this one's from Sandra Green at sandragreenxnyf@gmail.com to somebody, not you.
It was sent randomly.
It was a rant too. Yeah, this is weird.
Yep.
And the subject is you received.
So I was blind carbon copied. So the two emails.
You were BCC'd on.
I was BCC'd, blind carbon copy to send it to me. So it's not even my two name in there.
Right. It's somebody else's email address on the two line. The subject is received 0.7495.Bitcoin, and it's got an attachment. The email says the main thing is to have time to withdraw your I'm assuming that this is supposed to be $26,743
of Bitcoin. That's correct.
Of Bitcoin. The the introduction is pause. PAWS.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
Personal notification for ID number 154783. Dear user, you were previously registered with our cloud mining service, Bitcoin Cloud Mining, and did not sign into your account until April 5th, 2022. During your absence, an amount of 0.7495 Bitcoin was mined using cloud mining. Your balance has accumulated. According to the rules of our service, if a user does not visit our project and does not show activity for 361 days in a row, his account is blocked and the Bitcoins earned through mining. Oh, that's disturbing.
Is it? So I'm
oh my
lose
God.
It.
You're going to lose all that Bitcoin that they mined for you that you didn't know that they were mining for you.
That's right. So this is
your account is going to be, this is the big one. Though.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Your account is going to be blocked.
Yep.
In 2 days.
And
there's a countdown.
There is, but the
countdown clock.
The countdown clock doesn't move.
Oh, okay.
So the countdown clock, whenever you click on the attachment, whether you open it today, tomorrow, it's always going to be 2 days.
Okay.
So they have a link. They want you to type in your username and password, and then they want to collect your social security number, and they want to mail you a check.
Okay. So you don't use this service.
I do not use that service.
You have
Never
no
heard of
idea
that
what
service. And if they sent it to me, they should probably put my name in the to line instead of blind carbon copying me on somebody else's email address.
Probably. But,
unless they're trying to make me steal this other person's account. I mean, that's the only thing I can assume with what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing is that rarely people will read the metadata, if you will.
Yeah.
They don't really
print it out. Always print out any email you have concerns about, print it out. When you print it out,
that's a good idea.
When you print it out and look at it, it has all the details in there that they cannot mask any longer. So the printer does a great job of that. All right. Well, now we're going to your mesmerizing moment. You ready?
Sure.
Okay.
This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
All right. So we're talking about social media apps. All right. So we're going to talk about ratings. I got a question. Why are rating systems so successful? And why do I get so anxious when I get a negative review?
Okay. Those are two different answers.
Okay.
The first one is rating systems are successful because they provide us with what's called social proof.
Okay.
And what that means is psychologically, we want to have somebody tell us that whatever service is better rather than the service is telling us is good.
All right.
Right. So that gives us the needed psychological oomph to go there.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as far as you getting anxious.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a normal response, right? Because you're talking about something that
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's not 10 seconds.
Okay.
That's
30 seconds. Go.
You're talking about something that impacts your personal reputation, identity, everything else. So a negative reaction can bring responses that you don't like.
All right, our pick of the day is 1792 small batch. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, thumbs up. But remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.